Hi everybody, today we're going to look at permutations and combinations. We previously looked at how we can order n items using factorials. When we use factorials, it gives us the order for every element inside our group of n. But what if we don't want to know the order of all of these items? For example, if a race has 500 runners, we probably only want to know who comes in first, second, and third. Or what if we don't care about the order at all and we only want to know how many ways an event can happen? In this video, we'll look at how many ways we can select R of n objects without repetition or replacement. The idea is once something's selected, we can't select it a second time. We look at each of the items as being unique. This means it's important that n is greater than or equal to R. I can't select more items than I have in my group. Our first case is when order matters. We call that a permutation. When order doesn't matter, we call it a combination. By definition, a permutation of n things taken R at a time is the number of ways to order R of n items without replacement. There are multiple notations, but the one I'm going to show you is an n, p, and then r. It's equal to n factorial over n minus r factorial. I'll show you how to use the equation, but in reality, you should use technology. You shouldn't have to do this by hand. Let's say we have a horse race with 5 horses. How many ways could we bet on the first and second place winners? This is a permutation of 5 choose 2. We put 5 factorial in the numerator, 5 minus 2 factorial in the denominator. That simplifies to 5 factorial over 3 factorial. We know from our last video that 5 factorial is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, and 3 factorial is 3 times 2 times 1. We have common elements in the numerator and denominator that we can cancel out. This leaves us with 5 times 4 in the numerator, which is equal to 20. So this says there's 20 ways we can bet on first and second place. So let's try again with 10 horses. How many ways can we bet on first, second, and third place this time? In this case, we're looking at a permutation of 10 choose 3. Let's use technology to find the answer. Let's start in a calculator. Here I'm going to open up my calculator, go to the functions, and I'm going to scroll down and look for permutation. Notice it says NPR just like we wrote in our notation. In this notation, we first put in the bigger number, 10, then we put in the smaller number 3, and we push enter. That says there's 720 ways to order first, second, and third. So let's go back to what happens if order doesn't matter. Then we do a combination. A combination of n things taken R at a time is the number of ways to select R of n items without replacement, and again, n is greater than or equal to R. Our notation is now NCR, C for combination, and our formula is n factorial over R factorial times n minus R factorial. We divide by R factorial to take away the order. So this time, we have that 16 people are competing in a tennis match. How many games are needed for each person to play every member in the competition once? We're doing a combination of 16 choose 2 because it doesn't matter who we pick first when we pair people up. Think about when 2 teams play each other. If the Bucks play the Colts play the Bucks. It's the same one game, so order doesn't matter. In our calculation of 16 choose 2, if we do it the long way, we would have 16 factorial over 2 factorial times 16 minus 2 factorial. This expands to 16 times 15 times 14 times 13 all the way down to 1. 2 factorial is 2 times 1, which is just 2. 16 minus 2 is 14, so 14 factorial is 14 times 13, and again all the way down to 1. In the numerator and denominator, we have common factors. We can cancel out the 14 times 13 down to 1 and the top and bottom. This leaves us with 16 times 15 over 2, which is 120. But remember, the expectation is to use technology. So let's try another example. A business team consists of 12 members. How many ways can 3 be selected to go to a conference? We know that order doesn't matter and repetition isn't allowed, but should we pick the 3 that go to the conference or the 9 that don't go to the conference? Meaning, should I calculate the combination of 12 choose 3 or should I look at the combination of 12 choose 9? Let's take a look at technology to give us the answer.
Let's find these combinations using a series of calculators. I'll start in Desmos. In Desmos, we're going to open up the keypad, go over to Functions, scroll down to Number Theory, and look for NCR for combination. We'll select 12, 3, which tells us we have 220 ways to select 3 of 12 objects without repetition. As a comparison, let's see what happens if I do 12 choose 9. So back to functions, down to number theory, I pick NCR again, and this time I say 12 choose 9, and I again get 220. This shows us it doesn't matter if we pick the 3 items we want or the 9 items we don't want. When we're doing a combination, we'll get the same answer. Let's take a look at how we would do that in a couple of TI calculators. I'm going to start with the TI-30XS. For this calculator, combinations and permutations are above the keys for 8 and 9. To get the combination of 12 choose 3, I'll put in 12. I hit second, then the number 8 to select combination. Then I enter 3 and push equals. It gave me the same 220 I got with Desmos. Let's also take a look at the TI-30XS. This time I don't have combinations and permutations over the buttons 8 and 9, but I do have a key that says PRB. We're going to enter 12. Then I go to PRB and I select NCR for combination, and then I put in 3 and I push enter. There's my 220. What's important is that you know how your calculator works. Do you first pick combination and then put in your N and R, or do you first put in N, then put in combination, and then put in R? The more you do it, the easier it will become.
A deck of cards has 52 different cards. How many ways can someone be dealt 5 cards? So our first question is, does order matter? And the answer is no. Once you have the cards in your hand, you can rearrange them however you want. That makes this a combination. We're going to look at a combination of 52 choose 5. Let's go back to the calculator. In the calculator, I can go to the functions, scroll down to the bottom, and find combinations, and we're doing 52 choose 5. It says 2,598,960. This says a Spotify playlist has 8 songs. How many ways can it play on shuffle? First, ask yourself, does order matter? And the answer is yes. This is a permutation. We're going to take a permutation of 8 choose 8. We have 8 songs and we want to play all 8 of them.
To do a permutation of 8 choose 8 in Desmos, we'll go back to functions, scroll down to number theory, select NPR, we put in 8, 8, and it says 40,320. Let's try that in our other 2 calculators. In the TI-30XS, I'll push clear, then I'm going to push 8, second 9 to get NPR, and I push 8 again, and I push equals to get 40,320. In the TI-30XS, I'm going to push 8, PRB, NPR is the first choice, so I push enter, and then I put 8 again to again get 40,320.
As a quick review and recap, remember a permutation is used when order matters, repetition is not allowed, and a combination is used when order doesn't matter and repetition is not allowed. In both cases, use technology to make this easy. The hardest part should be deciding if you're doing a permutation or a combination, not evaluating the function.